Hi, I'm Gianna.
Hi, I'm Ava.
Hi, I'm Anderson.
Hi, I'm Alice.
Three-Fifths Plan was made in 1787. It was a way for everyone to figure out who was actually a citizen and who was not. They wanted to figure out who was because the women did not have any right at this moment. So having all the slaves, they tried to figure out if they were property like a pet or an actual human. So when they actually figured it out, they said 3/5 of slaves were actually a citizen. So then the owners had to pay taxes on who had the slaves or not.
Virginia and Kentucky were acts that passed outlawing new laws that went against the Constitution. These acts were created in 1798 by James Madison and Thomas Jefferson. After the issues with the Alien Sedition Act, Congress decided to stop the problem from happening again. These acts have been held up for generations and opens the possibility of new people coming to our country or more people fighting for freedom.
The Virginia Plan was basically a document suggesting the separation of power, which later became three branches, judicial, executive, and legislative branch. The reason was this because for no branch of government could have too much power or less.
Daniel Shays, along with a lot of other farmers that were veterans of the Revolutionary War, was angry. They had all received little compensation for their time and effort in the battle. So starting in 1786, Shays started a rebellion of farmers where they do a series of attacks on governmental bodies of Massachusetts. It finally ended at the Springfield Arsenal where 1,200 of these men attacked the anticipating General Shepherd and they were forced to flee. The resulting action was Boston granting the Disqualification Act, which banned rebels from participating in most public and political life for 3 years.
The Bill of Rights was made September 25th, 1791. It was a way to finally get some human rights because the government was trying to control everything. So the Bill of Rights became later then as the amendments to try to make sure that everyone has something to where the government can't take it away. They formed something to make sure that the government absolutely could not change these.
New Jersey Plan was a compromise created in 1787 by William Patterson. This plan was created because of the flaws in the Articles of Confederation and unfair branches in the federal government. The New Jersey Act consisted of creating the Senate and allowing 2 senators to all states despite population. This was a huge step forward as it allowed all states a chance to take place in political issues.
The Federalist Papers were a series of 85 essays in letters that seemingly appeared randomly first in 1787 in the New York newspapers under the pseudonym Publius. These letters were written by Alexander Hamilton, who wrote 51 of the essays, John Jay, who wrote 5, and James Madison, who wrote 29, each urging the residents to ratify the U.S. Constitution. Later, the 85 essays were compiled into a book, The Federalist, in 1788.
The Anti-Federalists were opposed of the Constitution, and they were poor people and didn't want the Constitution. They wanted a Bill of Rights instead.
The Alien Sedition Act was created by John Adams in 1789. The alien laws were created to decrease the amount of immigrants that came to America. This impacted the immigrants because the law of time required to live in the U.S. before voting was raised 9 years. The Sedition Act was comprised of laws that forbid any form of press that criticizes any form or people of the government. The Sedition Act was eventually shut down because of how it went against the Constitution.
The Federalists were people who were supporters of the Constitution. Basically, they were wealthy people and they wanted a strong branch of government.
George Washington was the first president of the U.S. He had been there for a while and decided he was ready to retire from political life because he had already served a couple of terms. So in 1796, he wrote the farewell address. It advised people on how to make the right decisions in offices. It's still used to this day, and people occasionally cite it.
The compromise was made in 1787. It was made because the Virginia Plan had made it to where the bigger states have more power than the smaller states. Then the New Jersey Plan said that there was one representative from each state that would come together and make a plan together. The Great Compromise said, no, that's not going to work. It made it to where the legislative branch was underneath the United States Constitution, to where they made it to where, again, the smaller states had power finally because the bigger states had too much.